I still remember the sound before everything fell apart, the slow hum of the air conditioner, the faint clink of her bracelet against the steering wheel, and that one notification sound, the one that changed everything. It was a Tuesday evening. I had just wrapped up work and decided to surprise her, Maya, my wife of 6 years. We'd been distant lately. Different schedules, different moods. Different worlds, really. She'd started calling late meetings, strategy sessions. I wanted to believe her, I always did. That night I drove past her office just to pick her up. The streetlights shimmered on the wet road. Rain was coming down in fine sheets, soft and quiet. That's when I saw it. Her car, parked by the side alley, and another car right beside it. Two silhouettes, too close, too familiar. She leaned over the console. And kissed him. It wasn't a movie kind of kiss, not wild, not desperate. It was slow, familiar, like they'd done it before. For a moment I just sat there, headlights off, breath locked inside me. The world went silent except for the rain. When she pulled away and smiled at him, that smile I thought was mine, I knew. Something inside me cracked, but no sound came out. No anger, no tears, just silence. I waited until she drove off, then followed her, all the way home. She greeted me at the door with that same tired smile. Long day, she said. Her perfume lingered in the air, heavy, mixed with something foreign. I asked how the meeting went. She said, same old chaos. And kissed my cheek. That tiny lie burned more than the kiss I'd seen. That night I lay beside her, eyes open, listening to her breathing, slow, peaceful, while mine felt like drowning. The next morning I didn't confront her, I just observed. The phone always flipped face down, messages replied to in half smiles, showers longer than usual. One night while she showered I opened her laptop. No passwords, no hesitation. Maybe a part of me wanted to be wrong. I wasn't. A string of messages. Can't wait to see you again. I miss your hands. And the last one. I'll tell him soon. He'll understand. Understand? She walked out of the bathroom, towel wrapped around her hair, and froze when she saw me holding the screen. Maya, I said quietly. Who is he? She blinked, swallowed, then whispered, it's not what you think. I laughed, I don't know why. Maybe because that's exactly what guilty people say in movies. Then she said it, the line that would haunt me for months. It was a little mistake. Little as if betrayal could ever be measured. I didn't yell, didn't throw things. I just nodded and walked out. Outside, the city felt colder. The streetlights blurred through tears I refused to admit were mine. When I got home that night, my other home, the one she didn't know about, I opened my phone and started typing. Not a message, not a threat, a plan. Because if she thought it was a little mistake, I was going to show her what a big one looked like, fade out. The days after felt like walking through fog. Everything was there, furniture, routines, her toothbrush, but it all felt hollow. Maya still texted, can we talk? I made a mistake. I didn't mean to hurt you. I never replied. Instead, I called an old friend, Rohan, who worked as a paralegal. We met in a small cafe, rain tapping against the window. He looked at me for a long time before asking, you want a divorce? I nodded, but it wasn't about leaving. It was about justice, because she wasn't just my wife, she was my business partner. Half of everything, the house, the car, even the consultancy firm, was tied to her name. She hadn't just broken a marriage. She'd stolen trust, money, and time. I started documenting everything. Dates, messages, receipts. Even the timestamp on that alley photo. The man, his name was Arav. He worked in the same company, higher up, married with kids. The kind of man who thought rules didn't apply to him. I could have gone after him, but I didn't. He wasn't the one who vowed to stay when things got hard. Weeks passed. The silence grew louder. I moved out officially, but sometimes I'd drive past the old house. Lights off, curtains drawn, until one night they were on, two shadows again. Laughter, wine glasses on the table. I took a photo, not out of jealousy, but for proof. It felt mechanical by then, like I was building a case brick by brick, and yet, beneath all the cold planning, there was still pain. Some nights I'd wake up to the memory of her laugh, the one that used to fill our kitchen while she burned toast and blamed me for it. Now it just echoed in my head like a ghost. Then came the email, from her, subject line. Please, let's meet. I almost deleted it, but something, maybe curiosity, maybe closure, made me reply. We met at the same cafe where I'd spoken to Rohan. She looked smaller somehow, hair tied back, eyes tired. I ended it, she said softly. I didn't respond. She looked at me, tears already gathering. I was stupid. I thought I was missing something, but it was you. It was always you. I sipped my coffee, didn't look at her. Because part of me wanted to believe her, and another part wanted to never feel again. Can we start over? She whispered. I looked at her hands, the same ones that had written love notes once, then messages to someone else. You'll hear from my lawyer, I said quietly. She froze. Lawyer. I stood up, dropped a few bills on the table. "For the coffee," I said, and walked away. That night, I finalized the papers, but I wasn't done yet. Because the court wasn't just going to dissolve a marriage, it was going to reveal a truth, in front of everyone, and I'd make sure she never called betrayal a little mistake again. The first hearing was short. She showed up looking fragile, flanked by her lawyer. Mine, Rohan's boss, laid everything out: photos, timestamps, messages. The judge barely looked at her before asking, "Do you deny this?" Maya's voice cracked. "No." It was strange watching the person you once loved crumble under evidence. I didn't feel proud. I just felt empty. But something changed a few weeks later. One night my doorbell rang. I opened it, and there she was. Rain-soaked, trembling, her eyes red, mascara streaked. "Please," she whispered, "can I come in?" I hesitated, then stepped aside. She stood in the hallway, dripping water onto the floor. The house smelled of rain and old coffee. "I lost everything," she said. "They fired me. Arav's wife filed for divorce. He blocked me." I said nothing. "I didn't come for pity," she said quickly. I don't know where else to go." She looked around at the photos still on my shelf, at the blanket on the couch. "Do you ever miss me?" she asked softly. Silence. I walked to the window, watched the rain slide down the glass. "Every day," I said finally, "but I also remember why I stopped." She broke down then, sobbing into her hands. I didn't comfort her. I couldn't. After a while, she whispered, "Can I stay, just for tonight?" I looked at her, this woman I once built my world around. The ache in my chest felt sharp and strangely calm at the same time. "You can stay," I said quietly, "but just for tonight." Morning came softly, sunlight through half-closed blinds, the faint sound of birds outside. She was still asleep on the couch, hair messy, face peaceful. For a moment it almost felt normal again. Then the light shifted, and the ring on her finger caught it. The same ring that once symbolized forever. Now it just looked heavy. I made coffee, 2 cups, out of habit. When she woke, she smiled faintly. "Smells like old times." I nodded, handed her the cup. "I never stopped loving you," she said quietly, "but I know you'll never forgive me." I took a slow sip. "It's not about forgiveness," I said. "It's about respect, and that died before we did." Tears welled up again. I wish I could undo it. "So do I whispered. She looked at me, really looked, as if searching for something still left to hold on to, but there wasn't. After breakfast, she packed her bag. We stood by the door, 2 strangers who used to share everything. "Take care of yourself," I said. She nodded, and then she was gone. The door clicked shut. Silence filled the house again, but this time it didn't hurt. I walked to the window. Outside, the rain had stopped. Light cut through the clouds, bright and clean. I smiled, small, quiet, real, because she hadn't just left once. She left twice, once with him, and once when I finally let her go.